Okay, welcome to the reality check with Charles Butler. It is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. If you look at what's going on around your hometown, I'm sure you'll see the toys and the decorations, and it's starting to look a lot like Christmas. We don't have any snow. Thank God we don't have any snow. But we do have impeachment. Impeachment is everywhere. Everywhere. Impeach the president. Oh, he's such a bad guy. We have to impeach the president. Well, sorry, Nancy. Sorry, Adam Schiff. Sorry, Natler. But the people aren't feeling it. The people aren't resonating with your antics. Oh, there is a notification. We need to cut those off. Let's see here. So, I'm sitting here, and when you look at all this information, like I have, here on my desk, I have like five newspapers, and everything is talking about the impeachment, but no one else is. I can tell you that I talk to people all day long, all around the country, and the last thing the people are concerned with is impeachment and Donald Trump having done something wrong. See, I don't think these people really get that we like Donald Trump. Donald Trump was elected by the people, and Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Nadler, none of these people could undo the people's will. As Professor Turley pointed out, the only abuse of power is Congress and this impeachment. That's what Turley said. I didn't say that. Jonathan Turley said that. A constitutional law professor, not Barack Obama, because, Barack Obama was a fake constitutional law professor at best. Really, seriously. So, as we, talk about these things, as we, I know, how do you feel? How do people that how do they feel about the impeachment? I can tell you, I talk to people all day long. They are not feeling this impeachment thing at all. Not at all. They're a little upset with the Democrats. And I can tell you, they're going to lose votes. They're going to lose people. They're going to lose a lot coming this upcoming election. Well, let's change the subject a little bit. I'm not going to talk about Pelosi and her hate thing right now. We'll do that a little later. But Nancy tickled me, man. She was like, "Oh my God, you said I'm hateful." And she went into this long diatribe that was, whew, Lord, it was bad. It was bad. The big story out here today is that Tim Ryan, an announcer for an analyst for the 49ers, was suspended because he made some comments. Now, I can tell you that because of Lamar Jackson, I become a Ravens fan again. It used to be, it was Flacco and Ray Lewis. Those were the guys, man. The Ravens, they came to play every game. I loved watching those guys play. But now it's Lamar Alexander. I see why they let Flacco go. But at the end of the day, I really like Flacco. He's really a good guy. Really a good guy, I thought. So, supposedly, Tim Ryan said some disparaging words, and when you put in Tim, it goes immediately to Tim Ryan. Man, it doesn't even, not even the Tim Ryan who's the congressman. It goes to the analyst, and he apologized for the comments he made about Lamar Jackson, and that's cool. But he didn't say this. He didn't say what he said maliciously. He just made an observation. And some people may consider it racist, and it had race in it. There's no question that race is an issue, but race is an issue in our country. That's what I talk about all the time. When I talk about race is here. When you see me, as a guy pointed out to me the other day, a white guy I was talking to, and we never talked about this issue before about race or social issues. But it's really interesting how people kind of gravitate and they will just stop and start talking to me about these issues. And I love it. I'm not going to lie to you. I love that people open up and they want to talk about these things. I hope that I can bring them some sense of reason and some sense of we can all get along. And we're all good people when we want to be. But, he said, Charles, when I see you, I don't see the fact that you have on a Michigan scarf or that you have on a Michigan hat. The first thing I see is a black man, a big, muscular black guy. He's right. And I'm glad he said a big, muscular black guy. He said a fat black guy, like Joe Biden called the guy the other day. Hey, fatty, go vote for Donald Trump. You can't make this stuff up. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'm going to God, I'm going to play this clip of Tim Ryan and Joe Biden. Man, he's I have a picture with Joe Biden, and I'm gonna put it on my Christmas card for you all to see. Put it up on my website. But here's Tim Ryan making comments about Lamar Jackson, and like I said, I don't think it's racist. I think he's just making an observation. Now I may be wrong, but his observation is accurate. In fact, I made mention on the show a couple of weeks ago, referring to Lamar Jackson. I repeated what a football player, when an opponent said. He said, we couldn't tell where the ball was. This guy's ball handling skills are incredible. We couldn't tell where the ball was. And so Tim Ryan, this week, he says, well, it's because his hand is like the color of the football, which it really is, if you look at it. Should he have said that? I don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't know. I wasn't offended by it. He was just telling the truth. He's made an observation. He wasn't saying, well, because his hand is black ball players are better at being quarterbacks. I remember when black ball players weren't quarterbacks. I was the first black quarterback at my high school. We had death threats. We had crosses burned on our lawn. It was a horrible experience. Horrible. All because I was a black quarterback. If I'd been a black running back, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Black receiver, no big deal. But I was a black quarterback. We had crosses burned on our lawn. My dad and I used to stand watch at night so they wouldn't set our house afire. See, that's reality of living in America, too. I don't walk away from that. I don't dodge that. But I don't walk around hating Whitey because of having lived these issues. And that's where I think a lot of people don't understand. I look at people as people. We should look at people as people. You shouldn't think that all black men are criminals because you got robbed by a black guy or you got raped by a black guy. And let me tell you, black guys are doing a lot of killing and raping. That's why they commit 36% of the crimes in America while constituting only 8% of the population. I'm just saying. Hello. Anyway, let's listen to Tim and what Tim had to say, which was maybe a little insensitive for some people. But hey, I'm a jock. I got it. I think that other people did too. Stephen A. Smith kind of jumped on the fence. It was insensitive. And I'm going, Stephen, come on, dude. Insensitive, come on. It's true. The guy's hand is black. It's dark like the football. You can't see it. BFD. Good thing for Lamar. Here we go. See, you can't say the mesh point. The mesh point is when you mesh the ball into the receiver's, I mean, into the runner's hand. So whether it's a fake or you leave it there, it's called the mesh point. Meshing, MESH, mesh, to engage, to intertwine, to intersect, to mesh, to be into. Can't tell where it is, and then you get half a step back and see everything in the pro level. For those of you who don't understand or don't know about the pro game is all about inches. Everybody's good. Everybody's fast. You wouldn't be there if you weren't. It's the NFL. It's the NFL, baby. Like the NBA. WNBA players are not playing in the NBA. Even the best WNBA player is not going to play in the NBA. One reason is because the NBA players play above the rim all the time. Dunking a ball is not a big deal for an NBA player or a player here on the playgrounds of Chicago or New York or LA, where the kids dunk all the time. But when a woman dunks in the NBA, WNBA, is, oh my God, we had a woman dunk basketball. Please. Oh, they didn't bother to mention she's 6'7". Hello, but she's a good looking 6'7". That I think her name's Cassandra Parker or something like that. Good looking chick. But man, I tell you, they castigated this guy, and some people came to his rescue. Some people that are ball players, black ball players, like Richard Sherman, said he's a cornerback for the 49ers. And Richard Sherman says, I know Tim personally. I've listened to the dialogue and saw it written. And honestly, I wasn't as outraged as everybody else because he's telling the truth. Hey, see, Sherman is across the line. Sherman is watching the ball. Sherman is watching Lamar Jackson work his magic. And let me say this about Lamar Jackson. I don't care what his skin color is. I don't care how black he is. This guy is one of the greatest ball players I've ever seen. And see, they don't come often. You have like Barry Sanders, you have Gale Sayers, you have Michael Vick. Now we have Lamar Jackson. I mean, and this guy is incredible. I saw him make a 49er miss. No, it wasn't the 49ers. They were playing, was it the Steelers? It's either 49ers or the Steelers. I think it may have been the 49ers. And the guy got into position. The linebacker came down. He closed off the outside. He shut it down. And Lamar went right inside and right in the end zone. I mean, it was like full speed, boom, plant, accelerate. It was like he went into burner, afterburner. Boom. He's right. I mean, the guy's incredible. That's all you can say. So Tim Ryan was making this observation, and he wasn't being racist. He was just making an observation. Hey, I can't follow the ball. I can't see the ball at the mesh point. I'm behind because he puts the ball in, it blends in with his skin. And does the runner have the ball or doesn't he have the ball? So I'm a half step behind because I got to focus. I can't move. Well, hey, that's an advantage of being a block quarterback. One of the things I love, and I'm going to digress here for a minute, but one of the things that I love about being a black man in America is on a crowded bus, you always have room beside you. In a crowded movie, you always have room beside you, unless some little white girl decides she's going to come up and invade your space. Oh, I'm not going to. Why should he have all the room and I don't? That kind of thing. And there are chicks who do that. I mean, and I'm like, why? I want to say, why are you sitting by me? I'm a big, black, scary man. You should leave me alone. Leave me some room. But some of these women, they don't. They just come up and they plop right there. Hi, how are you, sir? How are you doing? And I'm like, God, dog it. Took up my what do they call it? Mansplaining. Took up my mansplaining room. Okay. But I can tell you, I love when I get that extra room, when I get that nobody will sit by me routine. I love it. I love it. I remember reading an article in Wall Street Journal about 3 years ago. But these articles appear in the Wall Street Journal off and on, and I tend to catch them, I guess, when they do. And this black guy was complaining. I ride on the train from Westchester into the city, and people will not sit by me. Hey, man, I'd stretch out, put my iPad in the seat, turn to a ESPN or Fox News or MSNB, whatever the heck I want to watch, and sit there and do my work. Pull out my little. See, I have an iPad with a keyboard, so I can either do my work or I can pull out a PC, little laptop, and do my work and kick it. Hey, I'm kicking it. I could care less if anybody sits by me. If anybody wants to sit by. Doesn't bother me at all. Because guess what? I'm a black man in America, and that's okay. So I have a problem with that. And a lot of people don't have a problem with it. They'll sit by me and we'll strike up a conversation. I remember, and I've had a lot, and some of my best friends have come from, meeting a guy on the road and, chatting and getting together and developing a friendship. I have a great friend like that here in California, in Chicago. His name is Tom, and Tom's just a wonderful man, just a wonderfully brilliant lawyer, and just a wonderful man. I love him to death. So, with that said, and not love in the familiar way, for those of you who have any questions. And see, there are two times like that in my life, and one is a brother from another mother. He's a very special man, also. So, it's always just interesting when we start talking about the issue of race in America. Do we, J.C. Watts, I think, said it best. J.C. said, you get up in the morning and you're not thinking about you're a black man in America. You're just getting up to get out in the world. And he said, you walk into a store to get a cup of coffee and somebody does something that just disrespectful, that they did it because you're black. They did it because you're black. They ain't treat the white person in line in front of you like that. They didn't give them that look, So, I look at it and hey. JC and I, we go back a long way, so we can talk about these things. Now, the cornerback, Richard Simmons, who I was talking about, he says, I understand how it can be taken under a certain context. Let me put my glasses on so I can read this, and be offensive to some. But he says, if you're saying, hey, this is a brown ball, they're wearing dark colors, and he has a brown arm. Honestly, sometimes we're having trouble seeing it on the film. He's making a play fake, and sometimes he's swinging his arm really fast, and you're like, okay, does he have the ball on that play? And then you look up, and Mark Ingram is running the ball. So it was technically a valid point, but you always phrase things better. But you can always phrase things better, is what Richard Sherman saying, who's a black guy. He said you can always phrase things and not say his black skin. Here we go again. Skin color. I talk about this. We're raised. I don't really see color. Well, you got to see color, because there's color in the world. Thank God. God made us with color. I mean, I'm looking at this beautiful building across the way, and it's called the Aqua Building. Google it. The Aqua Building in Chicago. It's a beautiful architectural structure. Goes up about probably 100 stories. It's beautiful. And it's blue. It's kind of a weird kind of blue, gray building, but it's beautiful. It's all made of glass. It's absolutely gorgeous. Can't make this stuff up. Color is a part of who we are. Different skin colors, different hair colors, different eye colors. So what? At the end of the day, it's all pretty superficial. But Richard Sherman went on to say, I guess he went to extreme measures to justify why our ball handling is great, said Ingram. He went to extreme measures that really didn't make sense. Sherman said he's had a relationship with Ryan since he signed with the 49ers in 2018 and noted that Ryan has never been anything but a great guy and a professional and a guy who takes his job very seriously. Exactly. He was just making an observation. Could he have phrased it better? No, he was just being honest. He hadn't really thought it through because he's not a racist. Hey. But if I had said it, we wouldn't be talking about this. Or if Richard Sherman had said it, we wouldn't be talking about this. But it happens to Tim Ryan happens to be a white guy. And he said it, so we're talking about this. Tim, I hope you get back. Hope everything will be good for you. I hope you're not labeled an ardent racist and a white supremacist and a member of the alt-right because, you're in San Francisco, boy, and they take things real serious up there about you conservative alt-right types. Well, I know you're not an alt-right type. And like I said, I wish you the best of this situation. It's really unfortunate. And it's unfortunate that we're still so uptight about race. When are we going to get to the level they are in Star Trek? I mean, I know that's a movie. I know that's Hollywood. I know it's a TV series, but can't we just all forget about this for a moment and just deal with each other and forget our biases, forget our, preconceived notions about each other on a racial basis? Wishful thinking. I've been wishing that all my life. But anyway, enough of that tune. And we, like I said, I wish Tim the best. And he's apologized. He'll be back, hopefully. And, we'll put this behind us, But Tim was cool. He was a Bear after all. He was a former Chicago Bear. So it can't be all bad. Oh, man. Okay. Let's turn our attention for the next few minutes to Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi. Da-da. Nancy once said that the GOP, the Republicans, were paralyzed by hatred during the Clinton impeachment hearings. That's what Nancy said. Remember yesterday she said, well, don't mention that word hate with me. I thought that was so fake, so phony. I thought it was, and I still think it is. Hey, Carol, how you doing? Carol's out there. Hello, Carol. Carol Watson. Hello, Carol. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, you're out there by yourself. Let's see here. You guys tune in. Check me out. You go to YouTube. You can go to Facebook. Facebook is Charles Butler Conservative. I'm live. And also we're out here on the Charles Butler 5-2 channel. How about that? So anyway, Nancy, she lost her temper when a reporter, Jim Rosen, who used to be with Fox, he's with Sinclair now, asked if she hated the president. Let me see if I can find that tape. Here we go. Yeah, right here. She said that he asked if she hated the president. This is what happened. This is the Wow. And then she walked away and then she turned around. She came back to the mic. And then she went on a tirade, man. She was like, yeah, the president is a coward when it comes to dealing with. Oh, whew. It was brutal. It was brutal. So let's see here. And, she, like I said, she came back. She said the president didn't want to deal with DACA. Well, that's a Barack Obama creation. Barack Obama created DACA. And these aren't children. These people are 35, almost 40 years old now. So what have they been doing here in the country all this long? I mean, how can they, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they could even, they come. What are they doing? How do they get along? How do they integrate into society? I just don't. They know something was wrong. Their parents brought them here. Blame your parents. Don't blame us. Don't blame Americans, and don't take Americans' jobs. You've been on the American dole enough. You went to school for free, public school. People say, well, they're not hurting anybody. Well, they're going to public schools for free. They're using public services. Like most of them, the people who come here, they're on welfare. A large percentage of them getting some type of social aid. I think it's something like 70% of these people who come here illegally are getting some type of public assistance. And that's wrong. That's wrong. That assistance is meant for Americans. But anyway, Nancy, she talked about what else did she say the president was a coward on? I wish I could find that clip, but I can't. I'm not going to try to right now. She said the president was a coward. And don't mess with her, is what she said. Don't mess with me. Wow. I was like, that's serious. President Trump said she looked like she was having a nervous fit. Oh man, you can't make this stuff up. Wow. So, but let's listen to Nancy in 1998 and what she had to say about hatred and the Republicans impeaching Bill Clinton. Let's play it. Here we go. Wow. She said that. She said the Republican majority is not treating the president fairly. Don't mess with me. Man, I tell you, that was bad. I wish. Let's see if we can play something that she said. Maybe we can catch it. Let's see. She said she's telling them, "Don't mess with her." Come on, let's see if we can play it. If we can catch it. I don't want to play a commercial. Let's see here. Uh, yeah, that's well, that's where we'll cut off the commercial. So we'll go right to Nancy, who's saying, "Don't mess with me," and she said the president's a coward because he won't address these issues. And I thought that was interesting, but it didn't make a lot of sense because they pass these weird bills and they expect that somebody's going to sign these things, and that's not how it works. He doesn't have to sign anything. Here we go. Wow. Wow, Nancy. she she was pointing her finger. She was really upset. I can tell you, you know, you can't buy better drama than this, can you? Huh? You can't buy better drama than this. I love it. Trump is like, huh, are you Mr. President, are you worried about impeachment? No, it's a hoax. He's like, let's get this on. Let's do it. And then get to business. Okay. You guys don't want to do business. That's the problem. Okay. We have, you couldn't hear the clip. Ah, shoot. Here we go again with that problem. Let me see if I could open this up and see if I can deal with this from this end. Let's see. Devices, speakers. Let's see here. Advanced. That's not what we want. Let's see. Can't hear the clip. Let's see. Let's see. Devices. Let's see here. Properties. Yeah, it should be. It should be out there. It should be out there. You should be able to hear the clip because I have it. I have it playing through. I have it playing through the mixer, and it should be picking up. Should pick up. Sorry, Drew. I'm trying to play it through the mixer. I'll work on it and get some software that can play these things through so that we'll be coherent. Sorry about that. So I'm just gonna hit you back here with in case you can't hear me. Say sorry, Drew. I'll work on it. But but anyway, Nancy was the clip was of her ranting, saying that she did not have a hateful bone in her body, and she was Catholic. And she went on to, so I'm not going to play the 98 clip. The 98 clip is with Nancy saying that today the Republican majority is not judging the president with fairness, but with impeaching him with a vengeance. That's when she was the minority leader of the House in December of 98. She continued by saying, in the investigation of the president, fundamental principles which Americans hold dear, fairness, privacy, checks and balances have been seriously violated. And why? Because we are here today because the Republicans in the House are paralyzed with hatred of Bill Clinton, President Clinton. Until the Republicans free themselves of that hate, our country will suffer. Nancy Pelosi actually said that in 1998. So let's fast forward to 2019. Let me say this about Nancy Pelosi in 1998. She was a good looking chick. She was good looking. I'm sure when she was younger, she was a star. I mean, hey, I'm just kind of channeling what's his name, Samuel L. Jackson, when he was in the movie Long Kiss Goodnight. I'm parodying his antics. Yeah, she was a good looking chick. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. But anyway. And for those of you who've never seen that movie, Long Kiss Goodnight, I suggest that you do. You can look it up on, it's playing on Netflix or Hulu, but it's called Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson. It's a great, great Christmas movie. Great Christmas movie. So yesterday, Nancy just snapped at James Rosen. Bam. James used to be with Fox News. He's now over at Sinclair. And I guess they're paying him more money. He's got a little bit more freedom. But she said that the president, in his conduct with Ukraine, leaves us no choice but to act. And as a Catholic, I resent your using the word hate in a sentence that addresses me. I don't hate anyone. I was raised in a way that is a heart full of love and always pray for the president. I still pray for the president. I pray for the president all the time. So don't mess with me when it comes to words like that. Woo! Tell him, Nancy. Oh, man. She's pointing her finger. They said there are memes out there where she's, there's lightning coming from her fingers and everything. Hey, I don't know. I'm just a country boy. What do I know? But I do know this. There's a great story in the Chicago paper today, and I do papers, front page of papers from all over the country: New York Times, Washington Post. But this one really caught my eye today, and this is headline: Red Line shooting victim moved from the north side to escape. Moved to the north side to escape gun violence. This black young man moved from the south side to escape gun violence to the north side, and he got killed on a platform. I've been on that same platform. Glad I wasn't there that day. Now, man, we have so much craziness going on in this city. But so the question that the family has is, where can you run? Where really can you run is what they're saying. Now, the family guy was Macacinto Webb. He moved to the north side to escape gun violence, but was fatally shot at the Howard Red Line stop. Wow. That's tragic. My heart goes out to his family. My condolences to his family. These shootings and this mindless killing has to stop. And we have too many people, and I'm not going to put any political label on them, but we have too many people who are not doing their jobs. They're not deterring crime. They're trying to understand why criminals are criminals instead of saying that a criminal mind is a criminal mind. Now, Macacinto Webb was fatally shot Tuesday, and he'd moved in with his great uncle in Rogers Park to escape the gun violence near his home in Inglewood. The uncle, Reverend Zolly Webb of Friendship Baptist Church in Evanston, said Thursday he was hurting and needed to tell our young people that it's very important they stop the violence. How many times do we have to walk behind caskets of young black men before they realize that their deaths are a waste of talent and energy? Whew. Boy. Question is, why they shoot this boy? He was he affiliated with a gang? I don't know. I'm just looking. I'm like the pastor. He says that their mothers are hardworking, single moms. They get them out of their neighborhoods. That was the goal. And Zolly Webb, their families rented an apartment for the teens, the two boys, and Webb got a second apartment in his building. Macacinto got his first job with Bucktown Maid Service, which was owned by another relative, Tyrone Crowder. But even then, they couldn't completely escape. He said their cousin, Ernest, came and made himself at home this summer. He would often do the chores the other two were supposed to do, and he helped me barbecue on the 4th of July. A couple of weeks later, he was shot and killed in Inglewood. Wow. Whew. So where's the national story on this? This is a local story. But it happens all the time here in Chicago, people getting killed. And this is a Democrat city. Let's be clear. Democrat city. They care so much about people. They care so much about DACA. They care so much about the children at the border, but they could give less than 2 cents about these black and brown people who are being killed here in Chicago. Wow. Now, a woman was shot in the head. I'm reading this from the paper. Like the story I just read to you was on page 14. Page 14 and 15. This story is on page 17. A woman was shot in the head. 21-year-old woman was shot in the head and critically wounded yesterday afternoon in Brighton Park, which is not far from here. It's about 15 minutes from here. She was shot at 1:45 while we were on the air talking. She was driving in the 43rd block of St. Albany Avenue. So she was on the south side. It says she was struck in the head and stopped her vehicle a few blocks away in the 4100 block of Fairfield. She was briefly treated at the scene by paramedics before being taken to Mount Sinai Hospital in critical condition. Wow. By the fire department. That is bad. Well, I hope she recovers. But this has to stop at some point. All this killing, all this shooting, people just arbitrarily being shot. So where's Danny Davis on this? Where's what's his name? Bobby Rush, Mr. Ghetto, Mr. Ghetto of Capitol Hill. Where is Robin Kelly? That's my girl. But Rob, you need to get on your job, baby. Okay, Mayor Lightfoot. Mayor Lightfoot is to interview Mayor Pete Buttigieg. She says here that it says here that the Iowa caucus is just over 2 months away, and that Mayor Lightfoot will be there on Friday to interview presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg, but not to endorse or campaign for the South Bend mayor. Lightfoot will interview Buttigieg as part of a forum hosted by Accelerator for America Action and the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Lightfoot didn't choose to interview Buttigieg. The selection was made for her. Lightfoot's political director, David Pellet, said Thursday the timing of an endorsement in the Democrat race depends on when and whether she feels strongly about any of the candidates she meets. Okay. Wow. Just saying. So that's that story. And it's always a good story. You know, it's I hope they address these issues, but you know, you see these candidates talk about, well, the president doesn't want to address DACA. He's a coward on gun violence. No, he wants to crack down on gun violence. He wants to arm the people, the populace. No, climate change. We don't need to spend a lot of money on climate change. Climate change costs money. Everybody who supports climate change, guess what? They have a horse in that race. You follow the money. Follow the money trail. That's what you have to do. You have to follow the money, because that's what this is all about. It's about money and the money trail. I wonder if Tom from Baltimore is out there. He may be, maybe not. But anyway, let's see here. It's been quite a long time. Did you get did you hear the employment numbers from yesterday? The economy is going off the rail. Democrats don't know what to do because they can't stop Trump. I mean, Trump's economy is just trumping along. You know, we're the number one exporter of oil and gas once again. And, you have General Motors just cut a deal with LG Chem to build a plant in Ohio, and it will be one of the largest plants producing batteries in the world, producing batteries for electric cars in the world. So it's saying it's a lot for the president, what he's doing. And, presidents, as I often say, they don't make economies. Their policies drive the economy. Their policies drive companies to do what they do. That's just the way it works. So now, today, and I read this tidbit earlier, and it made me a little sad because Americans are going without health insurance. And the pace of spending on healthcare nationally is rising in part because of an ACA tax on insurers. And the Trump administration is, of course, trying to uh, work out this mess that Barack Obama created with his Obamacare, his Obamacare Act. Oh, man. And nobody wants to hold the president accountable. So why don't they want to hold Barack Obama up? He said if Barack Obama said if Affordable Care Act really was successful, they would stop calling it the Obamacare Act. We're still calling it ACA Obamacare. You know. So there's this tax, an ACA tax, that's behind the spending growth. But there are more people who are without insurance. They're not buying the insurance because the insurance is so expensive. So it's going to be interesting to see, this Medicare for all. We know that's not going to work. It's too expensive. So where do you go? What do you do? We'll work it out, though, because at the end of the day, we are Americans. At the end of the day, we are who we are. We do what we do, and we deliver. And I think President Trump is going to deliver. And I hope people get health insurance and get taken care of. Not like before. I tell you, man, this is serious, very serious. So someone was talking to me the other day about the trade with China, the talks with China, where they were going, and how the trade agreements have negatively impacted their business thus far. But they said, "Hey, I'm in to it. I'm in for the long haul with the president." That's what people were saying. I didn't say this. This is what my contemporaries were saying, who were affected by the tariffs and the embargoes and whatnot. In fact, I have a buddy who's a soybean grower who said, "Hey, I'm getting a check from the government every month. That's a great check, taking care of my needs." Then I have another buddy who's in the logistics business. So he provides services for the government. And he talks about how, things are a little slow, but that's okay. He's dealing with it. And he supports the president. So these trade talks that we keep talking about, the U.S. and China still remain on track. And Beijing, we're not the pushover Beijing thought we were. But Beijing said offering reassurance after tensions flared between the two countries over human rights issues in China. And see, you notice, they stopped covering the protests in Hong Kong. There's still protests going on. You can go out and look at BBC or the German newspapers, or even the Chinese newspapers, the Asian newspapers, I should say, not Chinese, but Asian. And the riots, the confrontations between the government and communist China government are still going on. Yes, I said communist China because China is a communist country ran by communists. Yes. So Putin is not our only enemy, not our biggest enemy. I think our most viable competition would come from the Chinese because of technology and their desire to win. Hey, but look, we're at the end of the show, thank God, and want to thank you all for being with me today. Sorry about not being able to get that information up and out to you so you could hear that clip. I hope my podcast does better, but we'll see. We will see. The Powell Podcast. So we're going to play a little Christmas music and kind of segue out of here And I think we'll play Temptations. Give Christmas a chance or something like that. Let's see here. Okay. In my mind.